Hold on. Nnamdi Kanu now.
Welcome back once again. If you're new to this channel, do well to like this channel videos, share the videos, always leave a free Nnamdi Kanu in the comment section, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any training updates about Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, the pressure is getting worse. Today is the final date. As you can see, all Nnamdi Kanu protesters are all out in Abuja protesting. Release Nnamdi Kanu, free Nnamdi Kanu. They are screaming, they are chanting in solidarity, and Nnamdi Kanu must be released. Report reaching now is that Sowore is out at Abuja with clergymen and Nnamdi Kanu's brother, including Ejimakor. They are all chanting free Nnamdi Kanu, as Nnamdi Kanu must be released. I won't want you to miss, and I want you to watch those videos. When we are back, we will continue.
What an amazing crowd.
Enjoy the rest of the videos. I'll be playing to you guys on the screen.
Hold on. Nnamdi Kanu now. Hold on, Nnamdi Kanu now.
Nnamdi Kanu is free.
Yes.
We started at the assembly. Customary that the attack was unprovoked. And we decided that we will relocate to other parts of the city. And we are in Taco, and we will go around the city today until the city is shut down. Or if you know the Kanu, instead of using the soldiers defenseless protesters. Please, you are aware that we show today as Nnamdi Kanu now rally. But we also tell Nigeria that today is the darkest day in the history of Nigeria. Answers protest 2020 is 5 years today. So we are going to take a minute silence to recognize the heroes who were killed at the Nnamdi Kanu for answers. Can you take a minute silence?
Can we prove that? Silence! No. Can we prove that? Let's have more.
They are so proceeding to pursue their oppressor. Tribal issue. It is not a religious issue. It is not a sentimental issue. It is a social justice issue for us. We are not here as all united. If they don't do that, they will get more. And they know a lot of Nigerians it's not about Nnamdi Kanu alone, there's hunger and starvation in this country. There's political oppression. There's a lot of corruption going on under the Tinubu. So very soon, this start to see and bigger than that of the past. Let the people be moving. Free Nnamdi Kanu now! Free Nnamdi Kanu now!
Hold on. Nnamdi Kanu now.
Welcome back once again, guys. Enough is enough. As you can hear, all the protesters and Sowore saying this, free Nnamdi Kanu, they are all chanting into solidarity, and Nnamdi Kanu must be released. Enough of all the injustice. Now, we'll be getting into full details. Police fire tear gas at Sowore, clerics, supporters during release Nnamdi Kanu now protest in Abuja. We read, security operatives on Monday fired tear gas canisters at human rights activist Omoyele Sowore, several clergymen and their supporters during a protest at the Transcorp Hilton area of Abuja. The protesters, who had gathered to demand the release of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, were dispersed by heavily armed police officers deployed around the hotel and adjoining streets. The protesters, including some pastors and members of civil society organizations, were chanting solidarity songs before security agents moved in, firing multiple rounds of tear gas to disperse them. Operatives of the Nigeria Police Force had earlier fired tear gas in the Maitama area of Abuja, dispersing passerby and commuters amid heightened tension. Ahead of the planned release Nnamdi Kanu now protest, the demonstration, championed by human rights activists Sowore and several pro-democracy groups, was built to hold today, October 28, 2025, with protesters vowing to march to the presidential villa to demand the immediate release of detained indigenous people of Biafra leader Nnamdi Kanu. However, even before protesters arrived at the designated convergence point, police officers deployed to Maitama and the central area fired multiple tear gas canisters, throwing residents and workers into panic. Witnesses said many people who were simply on their way to work were caught in the chaos and scampered for safety. There were no protesters yet. People were just moving around as usual when suddenly the police started firing tear gas, a witness told Sahara reporters. Everyone started running, even roadside traders and taxi drivers. Security forces, including soldiers and operatives of the Department of State Services, have since taken over a strategic part of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), including the three armed zones, Eagle Square, Federal Secretariat, Unity Fountain, and adjoining routes leading to Aso Rock. The lockdown follows warnings issued by the Nigerian Police Force on Sunday, cautioning organizers to stay clear of restricted areas and maintain peace. Despite the threats, organizers have vowed to proceed, accusing President Bola Tinubu's government of gross contempt of courts and disregard for the rule of law. Statement titled "Release Nnamdi Kanu, the law is clear." Barrister Jude Njoku, a member of the Nnamdi Kanu Defense Consortium, condemned the continued detention of the IPOB leader despite a valid court of appeal judgment that discharged and acquitted him in 2022. Nnamdi Kanu's detention isn't just illegal, it's a national disgrace. The government is disobeying its own courts and mocking the constitution, Njoku said. On October 13, 2022, the Court of Appeal discharged and acquitted Kanu. That's final. Yet, the DSS still locks him up. That's pure contempt, defying the rule of law. So guys, you can now see that the police force and the Department of State Services, DSS, are now looking for a way to stop the protesters as they are throwing tear gas, which is making the protesters to disperse. But meanwhile, the protesters are still standing their firm, shouting and chanting, "Free Nnamdi Kanu, free Nnamdi Kanu." Information reaching me now is that Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Ejimakor, has just been arrested by the police. He went to his ex to tweet that, "We've just been arrested, myself, Prince Emmanuel and others. We are at FCT Command, CID, myself, Fine Boy and others, to Abuja." You can now see that these people don't want the protesters to protest. Nnamdi Kanu is a man of injustice, and we all want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. Everybody on the streets of Abuja crying and screaming, "Free Nnamdi Kanu, free Nnamdi Kanu. Enough is enough. Enough of all the injustice on Nnamdi Kanu. He must be released." But the police want to want to use tear gas to disperse the whole protesters. Well, the protesters will still keep their ground and still chanting and screaming, "Free Nnamdi Kanu." Well, I would love to have your take on this. Tell me what you feel in the comment section. Do what to like channel videos, share the channel videos, and leave a free Nnamdi Kanu in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss any trending updates about Nnamdi Kanu. See you in my next video. Bye.